Okay, hello everybody. Like Thomas said, my name is Kieran Byrne, and my poster is going to be on a well-being approach to the outdoors. So, how I looked at that from a term of, say, balance of everything, and in particular, I looked at serotonin and dopamine. What is serotonin and dopamine, and how do they link to well-being? I think Katrina touched a little bit on it there earlier on. Serotonin and dopamine are two neurotransmitters within the brain, and they work on everything to do with our social, physical and mental aspects. In terms of our physical, sleep, our energy levels, our appetite, or social, it's to do with isolation, loneliness, or even how we bond with each other. And then the mental was things like sexual desire or no desire for it, like, you know, the kind of way, cognition, how we learn, and feelings of emptiness or happiness. All of them combined, if you have the right balance, the correct balance, not too much, not too little of them, should give you that, say, holistic well-being. So moving on from that, from this kind of model, we move down to Professor Carl Rift. Professor Carl Rift was a professor in the University of Wisconsin. So roughly about 20 years before anybody was kind of talking about thriving or well-being or any kind of happiness like that, Carl Rift was studying kind of well-being. And she came up with this theory that people were looking at it, and they were looking at more of a medical or a kind of biological problem with no, say, philosophical questions. She thought it was about a good, balanced life. So, these theories at the time, she was looking at all these theories here. So you have the likes of Allport, Rogers, Maslow, Jung, and a few more there. She was looking at all them, and she combined all their theories together through all her research. And she decided that she's going to come up with this systematic approach to combine all them and hopefully answer all them questions in some way. So she came up with our model here. So we're going to move on to our model here. She came up with this model called the 6 dimensions of psychological well-being, where she thought she could take bits from each of them, twist them around her own take, and come up with this. So our 6 approaches were autonomy, environmental mastery, personal growth, positive relationship with others, a purpose in life, and self-acceptance. So in terms of the outdoors, how can we link these to the outdoors? So, in autonomy, as an outdoor practitioner, right, we must have confidence in what we do, how we deliver it, and who we are, in terms of delivering programs to people, or whether it's a reflective exercise in the woods over there. You must have some confidence in yourself doing that. Your environmental mastery. Any good practitioner must be comfortable in their own environment, whether that's at home, in their personal environment, their physical working environment, or their active everyday environment. You must be comfortable in that environment. Personal growth. Any outdoor practitioner must always have new experiences. So you must always progress in terms of your own personal skills. You must always be upscaling all the time and creating new experiences. If you're just into hill walking, go kayaking. Expand yourself. But you know what I mean? It's all about expansion. Positive relationship with others, whether that be personal or working relationship. As an outdoor practitioner, you must build on good relationships with everybody. And you're looking for the strong, best ones at all time, but you also must find that balance. You know you're going to have weak relationships at some points. So it's just getting that balance in the middle and how you deal with them. Purpose in life. As an outdoor practitioner, you must have some purpose in everything you do. Whether it be your life, whether it be your job and goals and stuff like that, you must have some sort of purpose or build a purpose into it. And your self-acceptance. As an outdoor practitioner, right, big thing here, we need to love what we do. Everyone has to love what we do, like, you know what I mean? No one's going to do this job. No one's going to stand at the side of a mountain, wind blowing off your face because you hate the job, right? Everyone loves it. That's the thing. So, jeez, the time's flying. So to conclude on this, guys, in terms of Professor Carl Rift, I was looking at the moment now, there's a lot of medical practitioners out there, and what they're doing is they're issuing out the green prescriptions, where they're actively prescribing people to get out and get active, get into the great outdoors, get in and get involved in this. The HSE launched a number of initiatives there a few years ago. I think I talked to you about them earlier on. Get her in walking and get her in active. And is that time's up. So yeah, so if we can get people out and about, we'll get them done, and maybe give them that peace of mind. A little bit over. Speed talking. How are we going to pass the speed talking?
Thank you very much, Kieran. Don't move, because, and well done, because it is a challenge to get the amount of work you've done into 5 minutes. Would anyone have any questions they'd like to pose to Kieran about his proposition?
I'm not sure, shout away.
How many medical practitioners have taken up that green perspective, that green prescription you're talking about?
I think quite a few at the moment. I don't have percentages. I really don't have percentages at the moment. But in terms of mental health, a lot of that information I got was from my wife, who's actually she works in mental health in James Hospital in Dublin, and she was saying that actually in terms of get Ireland walking and active, the 2 psychologists that she works with would be actively telling people to get out walking, rather than opposed to giving them drugs to say boost their serotonin and dopamine levels. By actually getting out and doing a bit of walking, like we're saying, getting active, that can actually help boost the serotonin and dopamine. And people need to always remember, like, serotonin is only like, what's used in the brain is only 10% of what we produce.
Would any of our colleagues from CHO Area 4 here from the HSE have any comment about the green prescription and whether GPs are engaging?
I suppose I'm talking from a CAMS child
Yes.
mental health perspective, and unfortunately the first line of treatment in CAMS is medication. I think that it is changing slowly, but I suppose it's up to professionals across all disciplines, across all agencies, really to work together and to advocate, I suppose, the benefits of engaging with outdoors, engaging with programs that take young people and adults out of the clinic environment and into the natural environment, and using the environment as a therapy tool.
Yep.
I think certainly in psychiatry services, my opinion would be that historically medication would be, unfortunately, the first line of treatment for mental health disorders.
Yeah, I think a part of that, the problem with that is a lot of practitioners out there, medical practitioners, they can't level. They can't kind of get a base level of how much serotonin or dopamine is being produced from getting out and getting active.
Yeah.
Whereas if they prescribe them an actual physical pill, they can keep a record of this is actually how much I'm giving them, as opposed to there's no way of measuring this.
There isn't, and I suppose a lot of the big multinational drug companies as well will have expensive trials and their RCTs, their they're I suppose research sound, and I think until we can come up with a way of proving
the research.
The research behind general well-being, it's difficult to battle with the other. Yeah.
And to just add to that, I work in the adult mental health service, and we often come up against where when you're suggesting these things to our service users, you get the impression back from the service user, well, you're not taking me seriously, you're not giving me proper, medication. You're just
people go for drugs.
Calm me off with the walk, So, and we were talking earlier, Kieran, you were saying that there is this barrier there of people think of activity as being, it has to be very strenuous, and that creates a barrier as well. Would you have any tips for how is it with the language, or how we could tackle that with people?
He could give you loads of tips, but I'm not going to that. I'm going to suggest that one would be a really good one to share later. But thank you very much for your input and questions. Okay, we're going to switch over to Lorcan MacDonald from Kerry ETB.
Good afternoon, folks. My name is Lorcan, and I'm going to sort of present my poster, which was going to deal with the sociological benefits of a Goshka Award. Right. So the aim of the poster is to look at the issues that concern young people nowadays, in relation to their self-esteem, their